You're watching Politics Now.
We've been bringing you interviews with congressional candidates running in 2020. Republican Charles Navarro was among the challengers to Democrat Stephen Horsford for his Congressional District 4 seat. Navarro's a Navy veteran and current reservist, and he also worked with Hope for Prisoners, a faith-based organization helping prisoners transition back into society. We started off talking about federal lands and PILT, which is money the federal government pays to counties with federal land that's exempt from local property taxes. Do you agree with that? Do you think we need, the state needs to take over more management of the land?
So when we're talking about the management of the land, I think a couple different things, right? Is that with what the federal government is saying at the moment is that they have too much land to even manage themselves responsibly. And part of that solution to that is turning it over to the state and helping in a cooperative way on the federal and the state to manage it together. If the federal government is going to retain these lands, though, I think it should be done in a more even way. So if, in comparison, right, out here in Lincoln County, 90% land owned by government, they get about 13 to 15 cents per acre. You look at New Mexico or Arizona out there, they get a dollar and change for each acre. And so one of the big things, this is one of the issues that I do want to go back to D.C. and work on, is in regards to the way that the formula is actually done.
The Nevada legislature this last session passed a couple of bills. They passed one that called for universal background checks. So that's everybody who buys a weapon has to undergo a background check, whether it's private parties or the ones we do in the gun stores already have that. So this is extended to the private parties. Do you agree with that philosophy? Should we do that nationwide? So
I'm all for, again, if you want to do a background check on me when I would go buy a gun, that's fine. And I agree that in regards to the private sales, everyone who's going to be buying a gun, everyone's going to be for it because they know that they're going to be responsible about it. At the end of the day, though, too, no one particular law, though, is going to address and mitigate people, like I said, carrying out those heinous acts. They're going to find ways, and most of the crimes that were committed in regards to a lot of the shootings are always done by illegal guns anyways, through acquiring them in other channels. And so that's the unfortunate side of it all, though, right, is that there isn't just one law that we could write up magically that's going to end all of this. I mean, it'd be great if there was, and so we have to just take into consideration what it's going to do, the impact on overall the responsible gun owners.
Would you want his endorsement in your race?
Look, I'm happy to receive all the endorsements I've received already from a lot of local elected officials. There are phenomenal policies that he's been implementing. If he so deems to endorse me and my candidacy, great. If he doesn't, that's fine too. But nonetheless, I'm going to get out there and get my message to the constituents of this district, letting them know my policies, where I stand on issues, and what I intend to do for them in D.C., and let the voters understand me and who I am, and let that be that.
Yeah. What do you think are the best things that he's done, things that you might say, hey, I agree with that, and I'll run on that agenda?
So when you're looking at some of the good policies that he's actually started to implement, again, hitting back at the immigration stuff that he's done, though I believe in the end it needs to be done by the congressional delegation, and those individuals are the ones that actually need to write those laws that are going to be enforced to fix it. Secondly, though, the initiatives that he's done on prison reform, it's phenomenal. And through the First Step Act, and then now what he's going to be working on, the Second Step Act, where to what we were talking about before, and the importance of having community behind the rehabilitation of these ex-offenders coming out. That's going to be one of the main focuses in regards to the Second Step Act, and that in itself is going to be a huge win for that community out there. And again, giving second chances to everybody out there is well deserving, but the important part of it, though, is not necessarily so much giving the government behind it, but more making it a community effort.
We can watch that full interview on 8newsnow.com. Look for the 2020 election interview section. You can also watch interviews with CD4 candidates, Republican Lisa Song Sutton, Jim Marchant, and the man who currently holds the seat, that's Democratic Congressman Stephen Horsford. Well, the former president of a local conservative think tank, the Nevada Policy Research Institute, is running for a state assembly seat. Andy Matthews plans to run for the District 37 seat. That seat is currently held by Democrat Shea Bacchus. There was an endorsement from former Attorney General and Governor candidate Adam Laxalt, along with backing from former Governor Robert List and former Lieutenant Governor Lorraine Hunt Bono, among others. Matthews unsuccessfully ran for a congressional District 3 seat back in 2016. Coming up, a look at the border wall. Our BorderReport.com team is checking out the spots where the fence is going up. They have a report from Arizona. That's next.